Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Stripper Whisper, the podcast where we get behind the G-string and interview strippers about their lives outside the clubs, what it's like working in the clubs, and how we can all be good customers in their space. I'm Cory Michaelis.
And I'm Nikki.
Today we are interviewing Xtina and KJ from I feel like I have to say it like that, like Xtina.
That's a good name.
And KJ from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hi, ladies.
Hello.
Oh, synchronized. I like it. We're
together.
Best friends. We're here, obviously, and you're listening, but and the episodes are interesting all by themselves. But before we get started, if you'd like to put a face to these voices, check out Xtina on Instagram at Xtina_Pole Arena, and KJ at Harlot_Charlotte91, or over on our Patreon page. And also, before we get started, I need a little liquid courage to talk with three beautiful women, so I'm gonna have a shot of vodka. We didn't even ask you guys.
Do you drink this early in the morning?
She cannot. One cannot. One has a koozie that's hiding who knows what. Diet Coke, Coors Light, who knows. But
leave it up to the imagination.
Right.
Nikki says she can't have grape juice in the morning.
I know. I would love to be at that stage in life where it's like 10 a.m. and you're like, time to start. Like, why not? But
well, it's the Memorial Day weekend's over, so day drinking is maybe not a great idea. But cheers to maybe the people at home. Maybe they'll.
What kind of vodka are you going for?
Just straight Tito's.
Ooh.
So classic.
I lied a little bit. I put some Mio in.
Okay.
little squirt of Mio. Have you done the cardboard? Oh, I got the blurry thing going. The cardboard water. I don't know if I don't like it.
I was gonna say I'm not so fond of coconut water in the cardboard things, so I don't think that I would go for water in the cardboard.
It hits different, as the kids say, but worse different. So I don't know. So
different.
Nikki usually does the wine because she's more refined, but today she's so refined that she has.
I have a time
to do.
I think you know what it is too? It's just driving. That's like, I'm like, if I didn't have anything else to do, whatever. But I was like, I have to legally drive somewhere, so
that I'll accept. Well, so excited to have you all here and talk to you again. Before the first thing we always do, and it's changed over the time because a lot of these interviews are snagged virtually, and Nikki reaches out on Instagram, but I actually met you in person. So we'd like to get your version of that meeting and then mine, because it's often a very different perspective. And so, yeah, what did so this guy walks into a bar and
right.
Where was it?
Do what?
Where was it, first of all, for the listeners?
Night trips. And I think you came in pretty late.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that you had been at a show. And
sounds right.
Yeah.
We were all coming off the floor.
Yeah, well, we were on side stage for a little bit.
And then they made last call. We were coming off the floor, and I turned around. She's not behind me anymore. So I stopped and looked at her.
Some weirdo
she's
gave me a magnet
to some bald guy handing her a magnet. And I'm like, what? Okay. And then we found out it's you.
Yes. And there was a rumor that some rock star was in the club, and like all the girls were trying to figure out who it was. And,
oh, man.
Yeah. I mean, there could be worse rumors going around, right?
Oh, yeah. Cory's just like, it was me.
Right?
I'm going to starting that rumor when I go to clubs.
Yeah, there's somebody really famous.
There was like a huddle of girls just wandering around trying to figure out who it was. And I was like, it's almost last call, or it is last call.
Yeah.
So like, we'll go practice. think maybe even my shoes were off at that point. She
Yeah.
was driving.
Yeah.
I was all
We were
over
just
the place.
walking towards the back, and I went to turn around and say something to her, and she's not there anymore. And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Where'd you go?" And I'm
It was
watching.
good, though. And one of my friends, they actually run sound for local shows.
Mhm.
And I had thought that that's what they were doing, but they messaged me and were like, the person that we were watching was making jokes about going to night trips. And I wanted to let you know, just to be aware that like they might be coming in. And I was like, okay. And she's also like, they're the only people that bought you a drink during the show. So
Oh, hilarious. That's great.
Yeah, small
It's
world.
See, I'm glad we asked because yes, I do all right, I'll tell you the truth.
I was gonna say, what's your story? Yeah.
You get to hear
Right.
behind the okay, so you get to hear behind the scenes of the drink first. So some nights I'll do a dumb joke where I go like, hey, cheers, everybody drink up, have fun, and then I do a shot. And then I go, an audience member bought me that because that's an option. And then I just stare at the audience. And I usually pick out some old man in the front row and I go, come on, money bags, or just whatever. Get me shots. And then I tell the staff, sometimes that one's real, sometimes that one's fake. And then I tell the staff to make the shots fake that they send to stage. But I don't want people being scammed out of their money. That's not the point. The point is I don't want to get plastered and try and say
Right.
something.
You don't want to get plastered up there. I feel like it would get real good real quick.
Well, real good, real quick for the audience, and for it means I don't get hired back at the club. So, you can imagine if you guys were just maybe sometimes you are, but if you're just totally wasted, it could be a real shit show on stage, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We'll
Yeah.
talk about that later.
Yes.
Never a dull moment.
So I don't want to get a reputation of whatever, or have the audience going on Yelp being like, he was so drunk the whole show. Now they might, it might be this thing where like I'm convincing them I'm drunk, and then like self-fulfilling prophecy or whatever, they go like, he sucked because he was drunk, and I'm like, oh, it was all water, but all right. I just suck.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm just giving myself an excuse every show, but then I just take the shots after the show, or tell the staff to not charge people, and then they're just pleased that they didn't get charged. So that's funny. So your friend, that's fun that they bought a drink, and then yeah, because I haven't even been really drinking this last few weeks. Yeah, whatever. This is my first shot.
Was that the goal?
It was actually, because I've been told tomorrow's my birthday, and I've been told, I've had about 10 people look at pictures of me in the last month and be like, oh, you were so young, and I'm like, all right, that's not.
I get that too. Fucking annoying.
That's kind of rude.
It's like, you look tired. Oh, thanks.
Just tell me you need some filler and you'll be
Jesus
good.
Christ.
Right.
Just get some little under eye filler and you'll be good.
So I've been like, I was on this, I went to this, like, on a cruise ship, I went to some seminar thing, and the guy was talking about how like the liver is like the most important organ on the body to stay looking young and being fit. And I was like, oh, well, I've been
Imagine them saying that to you on an all-inclusive cruise where
They
the
were.
alcohol is free, and they're like, listen, people, like, don't drink our alcohol.
Maybe it was a scam, just
That's what
not
I was
sell as much
saying.
alcohol.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way,
But he was doing the, like, are you guys familiar with how important like acidity versus alkalinity of your body and blood is? Is
I
this?
am.
To a point, I mean, ish. I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Do I follow it? No. not really.
No.
Learning is in progress on that one.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, I actually study pathophysiology, and I have an
Oh.
exam I got to take after this. So drink good
You
water.
fucking know. Yeah. Don't be humble.
Do what?
Don't be humble. You know.
She is very humble,
Yeah.
and it's ridiculous
I-
half the time.
It's okay. But yeah, so learning in progress on that.
Well, and it was just very like, I don't know. It was just so interesting. It was just interesting because he's like talking about like not like you're born at 7.2 alkaline or something like that, and we're all living way below that, and we should be trying to get above that, but it's really difficult. And then he was like listing off all these things that I do to be healthy, like or to be more fit, I guess, like a lot of seltzer water, a lot of like you know, some fake sugars in things that I do, like protein bars, protein shakes, stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, that stuff's not really great for the acidity of your body. I give you acid reflux and it'll be really bad. And then like my best friend's dad got esophageal cancer. And I'm like, like freaking out.
Like, oh my God, it's the alcohol. Cut it.
It's gonna kill me. But I like, you know, whatever. Maybe I'm overreacting, but
yeah,
okay.
You're doing fine.
All right. Oh yeah, so that's basically the same. I mean, I go to the clubs to enjoy my time and to spend money, and also without being overbearing. Like, hey, also I do comedy and I do this podcast. No pressure, whatever. So
Flash
hopefully,
rock star.
what's that?
Flash rock star.
I guess so. I can't sing. I can dance a little bit, but I cannot sing. That's really funny. You think that you know that was you think they were talking about me, or you think that's how lines got crossed?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
There was no one else there that like wasn't normally there that didn't like stick out type thing.
Right.
You would fit the profile anyway of
Right. Entertainer,
you know,
whatever.
yeah.
Funny.
So, it was probably you. It was probably you.
So your
Oh,
version.
funny. I cannot play an instrument. I cannot sing worth shits, but whatever. And then and now I have those silly magnets that I sell after shows. So I was like, well, I'll bring a few of those, and it's an easy way to like people throw away business cards, right? So
yeah, they're the worst.
Yeah, nobody.
They're the worst.
So that's what I hand out.
Did you hear what happened with the magnet he gave Xtina?
No. What'd you do with it?
It's now on the lockers.
Yes, see, that's a perfect place for it. It's got somewhere to go. It has a home.
Right.
That we keep. I'll put stuff on lockers.
My next batch, I probably need to put both social media handles on it.
Yeah, you should. That's because it'll find its way on a locker. That's good.
Yeah.
At a strip club.
I like it. Well, that's great. And these are we're talking to you utilizing some stage names, or we're gonna keep it that way. KJ, does it stand for anything? Was it made up? How did you land there?
It was a Kim Jules type thing because it's easy to remember, and I just go by KJ because it's easier to remember when certain people are wasted and trying to talk to me. And then she says,
Charlotte who?
Yeah,
what?
Charlotte what?
Just
so,
go by KJ.
Yeah, so we just go with KJ.
Yeah, because your handle is Harlot Charlotte, so you had Charlotte for a while, but then KJ is just easier. I like it.
Yeah.
And Xtina, just because.
Yeah, I mean, I could be like a little open with it, so it's
Sure.
Christina, but without the Christ part.
Just X right
Keep that
there.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked my whole thing, and I've been doing it a lot lately. So I'm working on Sundays. I bring up Jesus a lot in the church. I'm like, oh, Jesus didn't send you here on Sunday. Like, this is my church. Like, you don't want to be in the house of God. You know, makes people
like
slightly uncomfortable. But what do you do? They're in there on a Sunday.
Oh, it's funny because she says that, and then I'm still Southern Baptist to the core.
Right.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was raised, or I was grown up Roman Catholic. Like, I went to Bible school.
Right?
So.
It's always fun because they're like, how are you guys like so good? And we're like, we don't talk politics and religion.
You leave those things out, and then it's like good to go.
Oh yeah, Vacation Bible School. I remember Vacation Bible School, and I like chose to be a Christian kid in high school. My dad was so disappointed in me. He's like,
He's like, what?
You're not gonna drink or have sex? And I was like, nobody's
He's
offering. But
he's like lacrosse.
He's like, not even fireball.
Too good.
Get that away. But But now, you know, I have stripper podcasts and I do comedy and talk about my penis on stage and I sell dick pics on OnlyFans.
Oh,
Did the guy pay?
One. Oh,
Did he-
yeah. Do we need an update?
Yeah, give me the update.
Oh, yeah,
His
he was-
payment plan.
$750, and he paid it all. And then
One penis picture. That's a record. That's pretty up there.
like $200 an inch, so that's pretty good.
You're not doing too bad.
You guys doing math? Don't do math.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's not good. No, he's just a gay fella who was a fan, and I assume he's gay. I don't know, maybe not. But he wanted my face in it. That was the big.
No.
I mean, I guess.
Well, I did it, but
Well, I mean, you know, you don't have to
Make
worry.
sure to get the really good angle, from down low.
yeah, in between my legs or whatever. Yeah, I went with mounted in my car, and I was in my car. I was in my driving seat of my car.
Oh,
It's more money on OnlyFans than I'm making, so you're good.
Well, it was just a one-time deal, but and then a guy the other day was like, "How about a video of you showering?" And I was like, "All right."
there.
We landed on $100, and then he ghosted I made the fucking video, and then he ghosted me.
Just keep it in your archives.
In the shower,
so
like,
more.
Someone out there will buy
It wasn't even hot. It was. That was the other reason I was like, I need to be on a diet, because I saw the video of me showering, and I was like, oh God, disgusting. What did you say? I talked over you, and you said something funny. Shit.
I said just keep it in your archives, and you'll find someone else who will pay more for it. Just auction it off to the
There you
highest.
go.
I like that.
I like it. But do you guys have side hustles like that?
A little.
I have an OnlyFans. I haven't uploaded anything in almost a year and a half.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
Again.
Yeah, I had a kid, so I
Ah.
didn't do the whole pregnancy OnlyFans thing. I was too sick.
Got
I would have, but I was too sick. And then I haven't gotten back to it type thing, but I still have it and it's still active.
Yeah.
Pregnancy is probably a niche. That's probably a whole
There's-
thing.
There's
It
a
is.
girl.
Everyone- like, you
There's
have
a
to do
girl
it.
at my club right now that's about to pop. She's any. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I was all baby, like I was
Uh-huh.
still all baby, and
That's so
everyone's like, "Oh, you
cute.
need to do it." And I'm like, "Yeah, if I
Yeah.
could stop puking long enough to do it." But no,
Yeah.
it didn't.
Yeah.
To be honest, puking on OnlyFans is probably a thing too. If we're
It
being
is. It is. Synchronized.
Been
It
around
is.
for a while. So as far as side hustles go,
Yes.
dancing is not like my main source of income.
Ah.
My grown-up job, I work as a teacher for special needs students. And my boss respectfully asked that I do not have an OnlyFans while teaching.
Yeah.
So,
Are they okay with the dancing though? Do they know about that?
I mean,
No.
I think she knows, but she pretends to not know.
Yeah, it's just kind of like an under the rug sort of thing. Yeah.
Because it's harder to prove that. type deal.
Yeah. You're like, where did you see me in the strip club? What are you doing there?
It
Right.
was scripted.
Yeah.
The whole thing was scripted.
Yeah, it's like I was like, dude, you're gay. I saw you on gaymenbigcocks.com. And you're like, why were you on gaymenbigcocks.com?
Yeah.
Were you looking for other friends there?
Right.
Okay, so rewind for just a second. Your boss asked you to not have an OnlyFans because they knew you did, because they. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that I was pretty open with that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So she
Just
was
with her
like-
boss, not throwing it around work, but
Sure.
just
Yeah.
your boss.
It got well. So let's rewind even further.
Yeah.
I was
Sure.
in porn for a really long time when I was younger, and when I very first started teaching, it was like a big deal.
Mhm.
Everyone
Sure.
was like, "No, you're
Okay, but so how does that go though? They couldn't really discriminate against you, right?
Right. No.
Obviously.
And I think still it would be, I mean, we're in conservative Oklahoma, so that's
Sure.
just always going to be a thing
in very small towns.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the teachers that had problems, it was parents that brought it up.
Oh yeah, I could
So
see
she's
that.
like, maybe don't like actively film while you're teaching. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. You just won't see my face in it, I guess.
Right. And then OnlyFans became a thing, like it blew up. So that was another conversation. And it's like, oh, okay, that's fair.
Okay, so was that okay? So then that's a good question. Was that difficult for you to not pursue OnlyFans? Because we interviewed another girl who did porn, Tender Montana, amazing. And she then used her OnlyFans kind of like as, you know, because that, so was it kind of like obviously teaching is the long route sort of thing, so it's worth it to kind of cut it there, because that could have been like a pretty big like profit margin for men that saw you in porn and now they're like, oh, I get to talk to her, you know. So
yeah, I had been out for a while. Like my former stage name was Jessica Nix, and if you look at it, like there's still some stuff on Pornhub.
Yeah.
I worked a lot but yeah, so I was out for quite a while, and then had taken a break, tried to have a family, and like I have 2 great kids, but the married life was not for me. So then getting out of that and kind of back into it, I lost a lot of like fans, I guess. I didn't keep it going the whole time.
Sure, okay.
A different conversation, I think.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how old are the kids, rough-ish?
Mine are 6 and 7.
Cute.
Okay. And so 6 and 7, and then the kids you teach are?
That's a secret.
Oh, got it.
Lips are sealed.
Yeah.
So
Because I taught high school for 12 years.
Cory did. No.
And
Okay.
Was always nervous about like lots of things, but not porn. But yeah, I quit that years ago. But no, I can't imagine the anxiety of that, or at least having to have those conversations and stuff. But it's like tough because it's so also not fair, but constantly hear stories of like, because that feels so salacious to people. People think that's really like, ooh.
It's still taboo.
Yeah. Especially when you're like working with kids, as if that, you know, people will do it like after shows. Like, I'm glad you don't teach my kids. I'm like, I don't talk about that on.
You're like, today we're gonna go over different sizes of penises.
In biology. Oh, we are a sex ed teacher.
For a year, yeah.
Right. Whenever I did have to have the first conversation with my boss, I was under the impression that she did not know at all. I go in and I'm like, it's going around the school. I think you should know that I've been in a lot of adult films. And she was like, is this why we're having this talk? Like, what do you mean? And she's like, I know. I knew when we hired you.
Oh,
So
well, that's good. I mean, then that's, yeah.
Tables were turned, and
how they know when they hired you? Did you send in the wrong resume or what?
That would have been probably more ideal. There was a girl that I went to high school with that was working there when they hired me, and she let my boss know all about it. But yeah.
How nice of her.
I was gonna say she let her know.
Right.
It's very nice, sweet of you to say she let her know. That's yeah. Wow. Okay. What? Never mind. I was gonna say what was it again, but I'll just go back and listen.
No, I'm sure he'll find it. So did you start working in adult entertainment before you started stripping? How did that, or did that kind of go like hand in hand?
So when I was 18, I was 18.
Yeah, 18.
18. I had just gotten fake tits. I got my tits done in high school as well.
Hot.
Right.
Got hired to do a bachelor party by a friend's older brother. And so we went, and I did like my first lap dance in front like a room of college kids. And I was like, you know what? I'm pretty decent at this. My titties are nice now. Like, I can keep going. So I started dancing first.
Okay.
Yeah, and then just kind of got into adult films as well.
And how did y'all meet?
We grew up together.
Yeah, we've known each
Oh.
other. Forever.
Yeah.
Oh wow, in Oklahoma?
In
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
So
Same.
have you guys ever danced anywhere else, or have you just stuck to Oklahoma?
I'm strictly Oklahoma.
Okay.
I've danced in Dallas and Denver and Las Vegas. And then I've done like bachelor parties in LA.
Yeah.
And I think those also. Yeah.
Because I've been doing the whole fitness side for as long as she has, because she used to do the classes and then she'd come home and teach me the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband actually just recently was like, hey, maybe you should try those stripping things after I had our son. And so new to the whole stripper thing, but we've both been doing the pole fitness part of it for years.
So is that a big kind of like realm in Oklahoma? Like dancing is like very focused around kind of pole dancing as well. So I'm assuming you guys have stages, but you can also do lap dances, things like that.
Yeah.
She does, I don't.
You don't.
No, that's the
You
rule.
do some lap dances though.
The role for like right. The role for like us as my husband and I, he was like, because he has always known that I've done the acrobatic part of it and everything. So he was like, go for it and stuff, but just no like lap dances, grinding on another guy, like that type thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So I pretty much go hang out at the strip club, take my top off, and get paid to work out as the pole fitness deal at the club.
That's what we do here, just with more money.
Yes.
So Oklahoma is topless alcohol. It's not full nude alcohol.
No.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I think there's maybe one full nude. I don't think I've ever been in there.
I think it's shut down.
It shut down? And
but if there was,
they shut it down.
Right.
They're like, no pussy here.
Bible Belt.
Yeah, Bible Belt.
So well, I mean, Seattle we're like crazy liberal and we are much more strict than
don't you guys have a strip club on every corner?
That's Portland.
That's Portland.
Yeah. That's Portland. Never mind.
Very similar. Yeah. Very similar cities otherwise, but in that one area, completely and totally different city government approaches to it. I don't really know the history or reason why, to be honest, but it's very, very different. Portland is you can be full nude alcohol.
Portland's crazy.
Portland's
like sex shows on stage. Like it's next level.
Don't you have showers at your club?
I have a shower. Yeah, we do, which is it's so weird because it's such a big draw for a lot of guys. We do shower shows where it's usually just girls in the shower and then bachelors, like you can sit around. You can put the bachelor in it in whitey tighties, which like for whatever reason, and Cory, this is a great question for men. Like, what do you get out of seeing another man who may be your friend, like getting beaten up by like strippers and like in whitey? Is it like comical? Because it's a big thing.
Oh, like the men will pay for their buddy to go up and get.
And then they all watch. And then they're partaking,
Well, so in general, it is an interesting, like, okay, just going to a strip club with all your guy friends is kind of a funny, like, hey, let's go sit around with boners.
Exactly.
And beers and hang out and bullshit,
I'm gonna watch you get a boner.
So here's the thing about guys, and I was having this conversation with a friend yesterday or the other day. A lot of them are very publicly homophobic, even if they claim to not be, even if they're like super like chill and cool and liberal, to the point that like they won't take a finger in the ass or anything that stay away from my butt.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, you have a prostate gland, and so you're an idiot, but okay.
Yeah.
But that's so like, And the thing my friend the other day was asking me or was saying, she said one time it's gonna get a little crass, but whatever. She took a load in the mouth and then kissed the guy, and he freaked the fuck out. And then like, I think she had probably swallowed. I don't think she just tried to spit it in his mouth, but like, she kissed him or whatever. Oh, you're gagging now. How are you gagging? I don't. Anyway, so anyway, so, and I was like, that's whatever, that's hot, who cares? And so I think if you get them in this private space,
Guard is down a little bit.
Frats, dorm rooms or dorms, strip club, these kind of places that, you know, bachelor parties where they all go to a cabin and they're all taking their pants off and smacking each other's balls and acting like, but it's
right.
like
it becomes a little bit more primitive sort of thing, less like,
yeah, it's not like this isn't a gay thing, this is us being bros, you know, and you're like,
sure.
all right, well, yes. The gayest thing I've ever seen. So
that's right.
Yeah, so I think there's something about that, and then in general, like I think we like trying to humiliate our buddies.
I
think
a lot of that
humiliation thing, because who doesn't want to see their guy buddy like slightly awkward?
Right.
Oh, super awkward. Most awkward.
In the shower type thing.
Yeah.
Getting
like
in Oklahoma. Right. You know, just seeing them awkward.
So they like that, and then add on top of that like ultimately I think a lot of guys are sort of more than me. Like I'm not really sentimental at all, or like feelings with my guy friends at all, and not for the same reasons a lot of guys, you know, but just I don't know, whatever. Growing up, didn't have enough hugs. I don't know. Anyway, so like I just so I think they ultimately do like to like, I want my buddy to have a good time. Like I want him to have a good time, and I want him to like, and it's a nice way to not be envious. Because if it was like just gals at a bar, they'd all be like fighting.
Yeah, it'd be very competitions.
Yeah, but here's a scenario where ultimately there's no option of this person being, you know,
right, there's no clear winner, you know.
Yeah. They're not gonna best me. We know this is a bit of an act, so great, have a good time, and I won't feel badly if you get attention over me. It's like a really safe way to give them attention on their birthday, their bachelor party, their whatever. So these are all just guesses, but I think somewhere in there is the
answer.
Depending upon the group of guys. And I don't know. I'm a little different than I'm much more. My toenails are painted right now. I saw.
Did your dad get his toenails painted too, or no?
He couldn't get it. He was just kind of observing. Like he literally goes, "No, what do you get out of this?"
You're like, they look pretty.
I don't know. It's fun. It's funny.
So yeah. What makes the perfect patron in Oklahoma? What's the kind of like scene of the club in there?
I don't know. I feel like I haven't found the best patrons in Oklahoma.
Okay. That's an answer.
They're very religious and judgy, and our political views don't align. So,
but they still come in the club though, still to like almost.
Yes.
Wow. All right.
Interesting.
That's got to be a weird thing. That's got to be like a way they get off on something, you know?
Right. Like, the more they drink, the more they want to talk about politics and religion. And it's like, let's not, especially us. Let's not.
Like, you're not going to like me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, just let me be so-and-so. You don't want to know this.
Right. It's like, nope.
Let's see. Good customers in Oklahoma. I mean, really, the more money, the better. That's always
right. Okay, that's always every time somebody answers that, I'm like, well, isn't it somebody that gives you the most money? Like, isn't it just
one guy who built the tower?
Yes. So with my stipulations of me going, it would be
age,
my normal workout routine or pull tricks for fun. and make the most
I
money
remember.
with no touching, just watch me do pole tricks, which I'm not the best at. And I don't know a whole lot of them, but I am getting better.
She's so virtuous, guys. I just can't.
So it's like getting paid to do pole tricks and paid to get to work out that I'd be doing at home anyway.
Speaking
That's my patron.
of
So
the
how-
work
Hers is
portion,
better.
How does
I-
it go for you? How does it go for you, KJ? So you do your pull tricks on stage, and then if somebody approaches you for a lap dance, do you just kind of like that's where you draw the line, sort of thing?
Yep.
Like, oh no, this I only do stages. Okay.
Yep. I only work out. I will take tips on main stage and any side stage, but I do not do. And I tell them, I'm like, I only take tips on stages.
Okay.
No, like hang out on the floor, chat, sit on their lap, get tips from them that way.
No, I'll
We'll
go
go sit
sit
in that
next,
seat.
like, yeah, I'll sit with them,
Yeah.
but not on them or anything. I'll talk to them, have conversation, but I will not like sit on their laps or anything like that. But I will talk to them and hang out and have a beer with them, or if they want to do shots or something
Okay.
type
Is
deal.
it-
And I can look at your boobs.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine.
And say, oh yeah, do they understand, or is it customary there? It should be customary everywhere, but is it customary there that if you're sitting with them, hanging out with them, talking with them, having a drink with them, that they tip you, or do they not know that?
Yeah, no, if they
Yeah.
pay you for your time to stop and associate,
Sure.
yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
If we have to be a little more aggressive than in some of the other clubs, like, like, hey, you just spent $7 on a beer. Why not get me one? And I'll just keep the change from your.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Do you
that's
all?
not everyone. Some
Yeah,
people
some people just
get
give
it.
you.
Sure.
But like the ones who don't normally go to the clubs or anything, or who just haven't been much, they haven't really
Mhm.
gotten the I don't want to say courtesy or cordial,
Yeah.
but they
Right.
just haven't. They don't know how it works.
I
And-
gave my behind the scenes drink story. We need to know, are you all drinking real drinks when you're ordering these drinks?
It depends
It
on how
depends.
much we've had to drink that night.
All right.
So I danced for a while before I was 21 at
Oh,
Divas,
hmm
and they had a drink hustle. So you make money off of how many drinks you can sell, and you like want the guys to buy you these expensive drinks.
right.
Those were fake because I was underage. I mean, I was
Gotcha.
18. I mean, clarify, but I was under 21.
Under drinking age, sure.
Under drinking age, yeah. And at night trips, I try to not drink too much. Like I'll only drink if I have a DD.
Right. Which is usually me.
Yeah. So just, a
Got
couple beers there, but nothing crazy.
And I don't drink a lot because one, I'm the DD, and two, I only do stage tricks. I
Right.
don't do lap dances. I don't do VIP or anything. Therefore, I need to stay sober so I don't eat shit on the pole and die.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And there's a baby formula shortage. So you gotta,
Right.
I
So
feel
are you-
so bad because everybody that I drink fake drinks all night. I don't drink in the club at all. And some nights,
Nikki.
I will be like 15 drinks in, and somebody's like, no.
all from one guy, and he's like, wow, you seem really with it.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, geez, you can really like get your shit together. But
Like, I even put something in like 3 of those. And so, I don't know.
yeah, I'm doing good. Yeah. So
See, my
I always
trick
have fake
Because
drinks.
I'm a beer drinker anyway. So
You
I
can't
can
hide that. Or yeah.
come in under the table. So if I'm just drinking beer, that's fine. If we're doing shots, I'll be like, just get me a
That's what
water.
it's like time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no, get me water. I don't want shots. I'll take
Right.
another beer. And then other than that,
Yeah.
I don't drink at the club type thing.
Right. Just whatever's, yeah. Because it feels like in some clubs like Sapphire in Vegas feels like there must be a drink hustle because it's really pushed hard, and I'm always sort of like,
Yeah.
just tell me what's going on here, because
Well, so the thing
I'd rather just give you the money. So
Well, they have stipulations for it. So at the clubs in Vegas,
sell a certain amount a night or something?
Well, it's not even necessarily sell a certain amount a night. It's just you get like kudos points with the fucking bar and with the VIP host, because so say when you go and do a champagne room there, they don't really charge like your room fee is maybe like $100, but it's because you have to sell a $500 bottle of champagne just to get in there. So for girls, and especially in those like giant clubs where you're competing against, I don't know, fucking 200-300 girls, you're trying to like stand out with the people that you're like, oh, this girl sells a shit ton of drinks too while she's, you know, so
let's get her over here. Yeah, okay, I could see that. So you get like, yeah, I can imagine a scenario where in those big clubs where there's a lot of girls, it's nice to have the help of the bartender, the help of the DJ, the help of security to be like, oh, I know the girl.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like when you work, I mean, I don't know where you worked out in Vegas, but I definitely, that's where I was like born and raised and where I started dancing. And it's very much like you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. And I've gone both ways. I've gone where when you're in a club, I mean, you're tipping your VIP host 25%. It's fucking crazy. Right. But they're making you a lot of money. And if you do it the other way where you don't tip anybody, like most Vegas girls call it going rogue, where you're just like in the building on your own and you're like, I'm going to make $1,000 from doing fucking $20 lap dances all night. And you're like beat to shit at the end, but there's like two ways you can go, you know?
Always take care of your staff. Yeah. And then they will take care of you.
Yeah.
Let's talk more about how you've gone both ways, Nikki.
I've gone all the way.
Slowly. Just kidding. So you have these, it's interesting. So do they try and pull the like, you know, Jesus wants to save you from this life kind of shit, or really?
You know, please just stop. Like, I believe in science. I'm sorry. Like, we're not gonna...
But okay,
that's money
fine.
In the process, though. I mean, are they like, here, Jesus wants you to stop, I'm gonna give you 20?
Or like, they'll want to get a lap dance, and then I'll convince them to get one, but then they want to talk about their kid or something like while it's happening with a hard on, and I don't.
That's my favorite. That's what tell me more. Oh my God, I saw.
Tell me more about, so I have to dance.
Yeah, well, that's my like. I saw a great meme the other day that was like, tell me again about your stepsister's custody battle. You know, like.
Right. I'll sit on your lap while you tell me that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can imagine if it's like condescending or that would be annoying,
like demeaning, or you know.
Right. Like, why don't you have a real job? And I'm like, I do. I have a bachelor's degree in exercise science and I work full-time elsewhere, so I don't. And
this job is real too, bitch. But
So what is the club like for you then, Xtina? So you do lap dances. Do they have VIP there and everything like that? Okay.
Yeah. And circling back to the what was it, like best patrons?
Yes.
I'll get bachelor parties a lot. And I think the thing that like made my summer when I first started, I climbed up the pole and I did some really good tricks. And I look over and there's the group of bachelors and they're throwing money at me. And they're like, you are a fucking athlete.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
She is, because she's a runner. She's a very avid runner. Like, she works out.
That made me really happy.
She does all that stuff.
Yeah. I don't run. If I'm running, you should start running because there's danger behind me.
Yeah.
See, that's how I am.
But back to the club. So I do dances, I do VIPs. And for a while, they had that stupid rule, like you have to have a foot on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that?
There used to be that rule in Vegas. It's so strange.
You're supposed to wear like nipple glitter or like have nipple covers, but
it's an Oklahoma Bible Belt thing.
Okay, so do you worry about the law at all then? Or like, are there people that come in? Are there like undercover sort of things to like stipulate that stuff? Or
we haven't
had any issues. So
yeah, because I mean, the last time I worked in Vegas was a while ago, and it was definitely like they would have undercovers come in there, and you would get like a prostitution ticket if you didn't have a foot on the ground, or if you straddled somebody for too long, or like crazy things that you're like, wait, what?
Right?
So
Luckily, we
in
haven't
trouble.
had any issues. And if for any reason, like the cops come through or something, we still haven't had any issues
Well, that's good then.
in general. So, I mean, but also, I don't think they're actually out looking to get strippers for showing your nipples or
without the
you know.
latex on it.
Yeah, I would just wonder, being in such like a like you said, like a Bible Belt sort of place, if there's like people that are like so pissed that those clubs are there, you know, they're like so.
Luckily, they're not in law enforcement.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Came in looking for a husband.
Oh,
the other
yes.
day,
Those are fun.
and that was
What's
fun.
that? Say it again. Sorry.
Oh, someone came in looking for their husband.
Uh,
Going to security where he was, and he was like in the VIP.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, and she was not happy, but it was so funny. And then she just sat there and like waited, like just there.
And she wanted to get in, and they're like, "No, you still have to pay the fee to get in here."
You're like, you want to go look for him, you gotta pay.
She waited at the door.
And then, like,
How much do you care?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I
gotcha.
know. That's funny.
Yeah.
I can't imagine a scenario where I'd be with someone who would be like that, you know. And great, I'm not saying she's wrong, because who knows the backstory of how he ended up there. But if
I
it
can't say anything either, because my husband was the reason I got into the stripping deal. So I don't understand that either.
yeah. In that he sort of encouraged and convinced you, or was he working in clubs, or do you?
No.
Oh, okay.
Nope. He knows I've done the pole fitness for years and everything. Right. She started back up here at night trips and everything. So and I had gone a couple times with her just to go and hang out, like I used to do back in the day when she first started. It was funny. She would strip and I'd hold her money for her. And then I just buy myself beer at the bar all night with her money.
Damn, okay.
Not bad.
I like to have someone there that like knows where I am.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now he's like, well, why don't you just try it too? Because obviously you can do the tricks too. And I'm like, that's a whole nother conversation. He's like, oh no, it's fine. I trust you. I'm not worried about it. We have our rules, we have our stipulations, and that's that. And I'm like, deal. That's not hard.
So okay, so do you mind me? Is the money worth it? Only doing stages? Like, is it like sort of, like, do you take it as like this is you getting into dancing and you're gonna kind of like pursue this for a bit, sort of thing, or is this kind of just like a side thing? Like, do you work like once every so often, or like how do you approach it, like with your rules and stipulations, I guess you'd say? Because obviously in your marriage, you know, there's like a line. So it's like, do you work once a week? Do you know?
Mine is whenever she goes, she'll be like, hey, I'm working tonight. Do you want to go with me? And it's a yes or no thing. And
damn, that's cool. You guys can just go. Scheduling at
like,
my club is like the goddamn, you have to like schedule 3 weeks in advance.
Like we just
you just show up when you want to.
Shit.
Because our contracts are independent.
Yeah.
So we show up when we want to. So she'll be like, I'm working this tonight. Do you want to go with me? And I'll be like, what do we have on our calendar? Or, you know, whatever.
Okay.
And then, so it's literally, instead of just coming over here to practice and
just go there
on tricks, I just get paid to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
A little bit later. I mean, that's our concept of it.
Okay. So you just got into it. So do you see yourself like doing it for a while, as opposed to you, Xtina, who you've been doing it for? Is there like an end time for you because you're in school and you're going to pursue teaching? Like, how does that differ between you guys?
So I am studying, I'm actually in a physical therapist assistant program.
Cool, yeah.
Got to pay tuition, and I would honestly like to go to graduate school for DPT at some point when the kids are old.
Cool.
Don't need me as much. So maybe like eventually, but teaching now, I only make $12 an hour, and I'm a single mom, and that's like unlivable wage, right?
Yeah, no, it's exactly. It's a joke.
Like, what else are we gonna do?
Yeah.
You know? But I like it too. It's not like I'm shoved into it or anything. It's my choice. I've been doing it before, but like, you can be mad if I'm a stripper and a teacher, but like you should be paying more, really, if it's that big of an issue.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like that sort of constitutes you know, it's like, who knows what everybody else does in their off time, you know, like teaching kids doesn't make you like, you know, the savior of, you know, so.
Right.
I would say once I get a job that pays well, like within my degrees field, I think that would probably time to call it quits. But you never know, right?
Yeah.
I am not too ashamed.
Yeah,
Right.
Cory, didn't you interview somebody that started dancing at like 50?
Huh?
I think, yeah, she started at 47 or 49.
Yeah.
And she was 51 when I was interviewing her, and dances in Portland. And not that she couldn't dance anywhere, but also Portland is much more much wider spectrum of looks and sizes and types of women than maybe probably most cities in the country, but definitely more so than less liberal cities. So yeah, lots of women with hairy armpits and trans folks and all sorts of different women on stages at in Portland. But again, she could dance anywhere, I'm sure. But it helps maybe a little bit to be able to just, for your very first time, pop in at 47 years old or whatever.
Yeah, be somewhere that's like super accepting.
Yeah.
And then KJ, you have a sort of different, you know, obviously a bit of a different approach, but is there an end game? We hate to ask the question and assuming that you have to stop. That's not like an assumption from us, from the pod, because a lot of patrons are like, when are you going to be done? And you're like,
right.
As if I can't, what does that mean? You know? And so that's not what we're saying, but curious.
I had a full-time job before I started doing this. My husband actually convinced me to quit to be a stay-at-home mom. And he's like, I'll take care of everything. You start doing this on the side just for fun. You know, don't think you have to. Just do it for fun or whatever.
Oh, that's great. I was going to say, that's great.
So my end game is, I guess, when I can't do pole tricks anymore or not attractive enough to make anything.
Won't happen.
I mean,
right?
I would say when I've been doing it for more than half my age.
Yeah.
So
when what? Sorry.
Maybe more like whenever I've been stripping for more than half my life.
Yeah.
Maybe just like real.
So I mean, you know.
Okay.
Until I physically can't do the tricks anymore.
I'm like, fuck, I'm coming up on that. Uh-oh.
I don't see stopping anytime soon, though.
No. Because
I like it.
I was about to say, we do it for more of a fun thing.
Fun plus money.
Yeah, fun. We get a good workout. We get paid to work out and have fun. And usually we get to drink for free.
And then
and then we laugh at ourselves.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like a major, this is our only income thing. Right. Like we can enjoy the fun side of it.
And if you had a Saturday night with no dancing, no kids, what would you do?
If we're
work on pole tricks.
Yeah, I'll probably be doing pole tricks.
Not pole tricks.
Not so like not going out probably if you had because you know you're out not every night, but you're out for work. Like me, like my birthday tomorrow, everybody's like, what do you want to do? And I was like, nothing. I want to stay inside.
You're gonna golf?
At my golf, and I'll get a massage, and we'll do like a barbecue. But like people are like, you don't want to go out and like do shots and have everybody notice you and wear a tiara? And I'm like, no, I beg for attention from strangers every day of my life for stand-up comedy.
Other than us going out and doing that, we're very homebody people. We'd rather just be out at home. Like us work on pole tricks and just
it's so much cheaper.
Yeah, drink beer and hang out at home.
Yeah.
Does any of your family or anybody know that you dance and whatnot, Xtina? Like, is it kind of something? Because I mean, obviously KJ's husband knows and whatnot, but
So yes and no. When I was in adult films, like my whole family knew except my grandparents. Well, one of them knew, and she like kind of disowned me, but it's fine. My brother is a dancer in Dallas, so yeah.
Really? Like a male stripper?
Yeah.
Sick.
We want to interview him, but anyway, okay.
Yeah.
So my mom knows about him. She does not know that I still do dancing. She knows I do pole fitness and that sort of thing. I think she would be more concerned about like the repercussions at work.
Sure.
That would be her thing. But so for the most part, like yes and no.
Yeah, it teeters the line, and like they're kind of aware, but they don't ask.
Yeah, most of my friends know.
Fair.
So, yeah.
Other than my husband, no one knows. Period.
Is it easy to keep it a secret? So so how does that go? Do you guys live in one place and then the club is somewhere else, or kind of how does that?
Mm-hmm.
The club is like an hour from our place.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. Because I was like, because that's how. So I live in Reno now, but I still commute up to Oregon, and I dance up there. So like as of right now, my life here is so separate of dancing, which I actually like because I've usually always danced where I lived, which kind of, you think that you're not going to run into people, and then you're like, oh my god, I see this dude at the fucking grocery store all the time. So
like even with our kids, it's the older kids, it's we're just, Xtina and I,
to my house.
I'm going to her house, or we're going or something.
Yeah, that makes it's good when you have like, because you guys are like paired up, so that makes it a lot.
It's like when we were teenagers and we were like, I'm staying the night at so-and-so's, and they're like, I'm staying the night at so-and-so's.
That's what we have to tell our kids now.
Like, how dumb
Not
were
by
our
your kids. They're gonna text each other and be like, is my mom there? And they're like, no. Is my mom there? No.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's interesting. Yeah. And you're 6 and 7 years old, and your kids are older.
Well,
I have two step kids. I've got a 12 and a 13-year-old, and they live with us full time. So we definitely have to text in code because they understand everything.
Yeah.
I've got an 11-month-old. That's my bio.
Gotcha.
Do you think that you'll ever tell the older kids? Is that kind of like a conversation, or do you think that that's something that you would like? Is it too kind of like, I don't want to say look down on, but that's almost like, because I have an almost 15-year-old and she knows that I dance. And it was very much a conversation of like, for a long time, she thought I was a bartender. And then she's like, Mom, why do you take a bag to work? I'm like, oh, well, I need my stuff.
Why does that bag come home bigger?
Yeah, exactly.
When they're older, yes, for sure.
Yeah.
But as of now, because of the divorce,
yeah. That's
and everything. It's a whole different situation.
Yeah.
But when they are older and stuff, it'll definitely.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a conversation that comes up.
Oh yeah, it's nothing like I'm ashamed to hide. It's just we're not there yet.
Sure,
but we will be.
Definitely,
and it'll be funny because they know I do the pole fitness.
Yeah,
they've seen me do the pole fitness. And they think it's hilarious. They're like, "Oh, will you do this one next? Oh, can you do that one next?"
It's so funny how kids are now, because I've had a conversation with my daughter because I have an Instagram, and I feel like her friends have seen it. And I'm like, does it bother you? Because I try to be open with her, and she's like, oh no, all the kids these days, they're really happy that you're so body positive. And I'm like, what? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right? And it's like,
like they're like, your mom's so cool because she's so confident. I'm like, yeah, I bet that's what they're saying.
Right? It's like, that's what you tell me that they're saying.
But I'm telling you, I taught high school for 12 years, and I've been in schools the last 5 or 6 years a little bit as a substitute teacher. And the difference today between versus 15 years, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, with regard to all this stuff is insane. Like
It's different. Yeah.
Kids of the same gender will hold hands in the hall, and it's just not even. I mean, when I was in high school, that was like a big
Yeah.
discussion and a talk, and kids really stayed in the closet. I'm sure parts of the country that still haven't caught up, but it's very different in like where I'm at near Seattle.
My 12 and 13-year-old is 100% different than it's like, what was I doing at that age?
That's what I say all the time. I'm like, oh my God.
Ruin our kids.
Yeah.
Completely ruin our kids. It made them grow up so much faster. And I'm like, no, just
right.
And there's everything.
Yeah, there's obviously some negatives, I'm sure, but in terms of just like their ability to be empathetic, I feel like
that is a good one though.
Kids are way better than they used to be.
Oh yeah, I'm all for, because we have, tell us anything. We are very open.
Right. That too.
But it's like they're also growing up too fast because of technology, not because of us. If we expose them to it, that'd be one thing, but we don't. It's like you guys catch on to everything, and that's not okay.
Yeah.
Sure, there's some. Yeah, I can imagine 12 and 13-year-olds being aware of things before you want them to be, for sure.
Right.
And that's where that's the core of all these people who are anti-sex ed in schools. That's the core of where they're coming from, but they're just not quite right. They're, in my humble opinion, they're off.
All for sex ed.
Yeah, I know you guys. I can kind of tell. I can tell, but like
everything at 12 and 13, because we didn't. I don't want them to.
You did not at 12.
Well, so skip that one. We don't want our kids there at that time.
I mean, I didn't have sex to my wedding night at 22 years old, so
congratulations.
How precious.
Wow.
Was a good Christian boy.
Didn't work out.
Yeah.
But here we are.
I'm Southern Baptist, so we'll leave it at that.
Right. Well, this is real play. Is there anything else we missed? I mean, I think you guys have really, this is been so great. This is our first foursome on the podcast. Very exciting.
No pulling teeth this time.
What's that?
The no pulling teeth this time.
No. They're great.
Oh, God.
And do you live near each other, or you're?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Ooh,
within 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Love it.
And that's actually the furthest we've lived from each other in a long time. We used to
That's like super awesome to have. I have the first interview that Cory and I did, we did with my best friend, and I didn't grow up with her, but I met her when I was 18, and we've like danced together for a long time now. And it's always like fun when you have like a buddy system, because you're like, oh, I'm just like going and hanging out with my friends.
Yeah.
So
that's great. Well, if you're listening anywhere near Tulsa, Oklahoma, go to Night Trips to see Xtina and KJ. If you have the internet, I hope you have the internet, but go to Instagram at Xtina_Polarina and at Harlot_Charlotte91. That's her birth year. Is it?
Yeah,
I just said that.
I was assuming that.
I'm old.
My bad. I made that up, but it seems right now that I do the math. But
that's okay. I'm 32. Nobody cares.
42 tomorrow for me. Oh boy.
Yay.
Man.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you. And follow the podcast at Stripper Podcast on Instagram. Go to the Patreon and see the video of the podcast. And this is I don't know when this is going to be released because we're banking them up.
Yeah, we got a few more that we need to get.
We'll for sure let you all know so you can maybe help us out a little bit and tell some people. And it was lovely talking. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys.
We'll see you in person maybe soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Cheers. Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.